Ohio State needs a win in the worst way against a solid team like my Spartans to boost their tournament resume. But one big question, will it actually happen?
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
This Locked On Crossover is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back. No fork needed, vanilla cakey flavor, caffeinated kick, and no sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Spartan friends, Spartan family, and OH.
Yo, baby, let's go.
There we go. All right. Breaking bread that way. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in to a Locked On Crossover episode with Locked On Spartans and Locked On Buckeyes. Please rate, review, subscribe. Give us your key to the Sunday basketball game below. Because, we're going to be talking about that one here. And, Jay, we're going to talk about tournament implications here in a hot second. But I want to set the table here with dialing the clock back 2 years ago. Ohio State plays at Breslin Center after letting Chris Holtmann go. Jake Diebler, he's rattling off some great wins to secure the head coaching job for the very next season, including, of course, beating Michigan State at Breslin Center in an outstanding and albeit gut-wrenching second-half comeback. Jay, is it full circle time on Sunday? Does Jake Diebler need a win like that once again on a weekend at Breslin Center to secure a head coaching job in Columbus for next season? Are these the stakes here?
Those are the stakes. You can even go a step further and say if they lose this game, they might not make the tournament. I mean, that's how big this game is. Even if Jake Diebler's job was secure, the team as a whole needs this win for confidence moving forward. They still have a game against Purdue down the road, which they can win, but Purdue is a different animal than Michigan State. Michigan State's good. They're not Purdue. They're not Michigan either. Like, Michigan's a whole different animal in the Big Ten. But I desperately need this win. And before the Wisconsin game, I would have said, Michigan State's going to win by about 10 points because Ohio State isn't playing 40 minutes of basketball. They'll play 30, maybe 35, but down the stretch, they kind of fumble the bag and give the game over to the other team. After the win against Wisconsin, a 17-point win, it was their first ranked win of the season. I think the Buckeyes have a little bit of hope and believe that they can go on the road and beat the Spartans.
So let's talk about that Wisconsin game here for a second, because we recently faced the Badgers, and they shot, I think it was 95% from three, or at least that's what it felt like.
About right.
We got ran out the gym in that game. That was a tough one. And then Wisconsin turns around, and, well, there was a bludgeoning that happened, except, of course, it was your Buckeyes. What exactly happened in that game? Was it all the Buckeyes? Was Wisconsin a little cold? Or are you guys turning a corner? Because I can't make sense of your team. Your longest win streak since December started is 2 games. Your longest losing streak is 1 game. Like, you guys are flip-flopping every game. What? Are you guys good? Please just help me figure out who the heck you are, Jay.
Matt, I'm sitting here laughing because I don't know what team Ohio State – I don't know how to describe this team at all. I've been trying to figure it out all season. The non-conference was like expected. You're going to win the games you're supposed to win. You're going to lose some of the games that are toss-up games, get the Big Ten play. I was hoping that they got to be better and they were more competitive, but they weren't. But they really don't have a win streak. I don't think they know what they are either. I really don't.
Okay.
You have Bruce Thornton. There was an injury to Brandon Knoll, who's a transfer from Wright State, that I think if he were healthy, the Buckeyes would have already had 20 wins. And I still think, like, this team is – if they can't be great. At their best, they can make it to Sweet 16. But I don't know if their best is going to be something you see in the regular season to get them there, if that makes sense. Like, I sound confused because, Matt, like you, everybody that watches this team, they're confused. A close game that went to overtime against Minnesota that shouldn't have been that close. They fight with Virginia, but then fumble it down the stretch. They got outscored 17-7 in the final 10 minutes of that game. The first game against Wisconsin put up 92 points. And I'm thinking, my goodness, this team can't beat anybody good. And then they follow it up with a game this past Tuesday where they beat Wisconsin. I don't know if they know who they are or what they are, but what they can be, I think, is a team that behind Bruce Thornton scoring 25-plus points a game, you can get somebody else. Hopefully somebody else steps up and helps them out so they can get to the tournament. I sound confused, bro. I sound really confused about this team because it doesn't make any sense.
That almost scares me. I mean, I harken back to my high school baseball days, and you're in the on-deck circle. They brought in some pitcher to warm up, and he's throwing sometimes down the pipe grooving at 85 miles an hour. Other times it's going halfway up the backstop, and you're thinking, I want to swing and just make contact and get out of here as soon as possible. I just want to get this game over with as soon as possible because, will Ohio State drop 88 on you? Who knows? Will they only drop 48 on you or anywhere in between? I don't know, but helping the Michigan State side of things is unfortunately a big injury recently to Ohio State guard John Mobley Jr. Now he's got a hand injury, out indefinitely. I don't want to speak for the whole Ohio State medical staff and John Mobley himself. I'd be a little in disbelief to see him play in this game. So with that said, does anyone step up to the plate and take over for him? Is it a sizable drop-off right after John Mobley, or what are we looking at with that whole situation?
It is a sizable drop-off because he was averaging 15 points a game. He can stretch the defense, and he has some pretty good range when he's hitting, but he can be streaky. He is someone that without him, like when he's out there, he does make the defense come out, and the spacing can be better, but sometimes when he's out there, the spacing isn't great. Without him, you got to see Devin Royal on Tuesday put up 25 points in a big bounce-back game after he only scored 4 against Virginia. But it's kind of been whoever steps up, just somebody has to step up and be the guy. Devin Royal was that guy on Tuesday. I think he can be that guy on Sunday, but I don't know. Amari Bynum's added about 15 or 13 points in a couple of games in Mobley's absence. He's not going to be a guy that can be like a 20, 25-point scorer, but while I say that he might not be that guy, he could blow me away and do that on Sunday afternoon. And so it sounds as confusing as when I was describing the team, I sounded confused. I'm very confused on how they consistently replace his production. The spacing on the floor was better without him on the court, and I think that's a big reason why Wisconsin was trying to play catch-up the entire time because they weren't able to properly figure out what Ohio State was trying to do when Mobley's not there. Tayson Chapman's another guy who's replacing him in the starting lineup. He can score. For some reason, they don't call him when he plays for him, and they don't really try to get him going early. When he gets going early, he doesn't sustain the entire game. If he has 15 points, just literally 15, that's a massive boost that you can couple that with Thornton getting 25 and Royal getting his points and Amari Bynum. Those kind of guys need to step up because you can't really trust Christoph Tilley to be a consistent scorer for the team.
Let's say that no one does step up, but Bruce Thornton, who is just a dynamite player, also with 13 years of college experience too, might I add, is he good enough just to win a game by himself? Because you mentioned Devin Royal, 25 points against Wisconsin, but he wasn't even the leading scorer. Bruce Thornton, he decided to have 27. Let's just say everyone around him just has a B- game. Is he that good, or does he really need someone to be a Robin to his Batman here coming up?
He needs some help. He definitely needs some help. He was great down the stretch of the Virginia game, and I keep reminding people about that game because that was a game that could have been the turning point for Ohio State. You could get a quad 1 win. I think there was a quad 1 win at that point. They were number 15 in the country at the point of that game, and so Ohio State has a neutral site game on Valentine's Day. It's a great test for a team that needs to be tested. It needs to rise to the occasion. Bruce Thornton did. Well, a big reason why in the final 10 minutes of that game, the Buckeyes only scored 7 points because he didn't have any help. Like, he didn't have the help that he needed to be able to win that game, and he can't do it himself. He's not Iverson. He's not some of these great guards in college basketball. I don't know why I went back to the 90s, but he's not one of these great.
I like it. Yeah.
He's not one of these great guards where he can go off for 40 and just have everybody else fill in where they need to fill in because he could be that guy. He's not that guy. He needs the help. And that's a big reason why Ohio State is on the bubble right now because Thornton's been great. The supporting cast hasn't always been great.
Now, before we cut it to a break and you grill me about my Spartans, just really quick, how would you grade your front court? Because I noticed the rebounding numbers, they're fine. Like, they're okay. I know that the block percentage isn't high at all. I think you guys are behind 300th in the nation there. Where are you guys at with front court? Is there a lot to be desired there, or do you guys figure out a way to get it done here? And I'm just looking at the numbers too much.
No, the numbers are correct, and I really hope they figure out a way to get it done on Sunday because, man, the big front court has been a problem. I think a lot of Buckeyes listeners have been tired of me harping on the fact that Ohio State has tall men. They don't have big men. They don't have the guys that are 7 foot 240 that play big. They have 7 foot 240 that play tall. And that's been a big problem with me, and I've been really annoyed with the fact that Christoph Tilly is tall. He's a very skilled big man, more of a stretch 4 than a stretch 5. And when you need a center, he's playing a center position, but that's not where his best fit is. Even off the bench, Ivan Nagovin, I always butcher his last name, bro. So I apologize if people
always get names right on this show. So how dare you? Oh, Jay, you amateur.
Oh, man. But no, like the front court's been a problem, which has been a big reason why it doesn't matter who they're playing. Ohio State loses the rebound battle more often than not because they don't have a great rebounder. Tilly is 7 feet tall. Last night, now I don't know his updated number, but he probably averages less than 5 rebounds a game. That's trash. That's horrible. And so when you are that tall and you can't rebound and you got a guy off the bench that can come in pretty quickly, he's also not a great rebounder. Also, Tilly gets in foul trouble pretty quickly in a game. It's not a great recipe for success.
We'll get into my Spartans here in a hot second, but first need to talk everyone's ears off about 5-Hour Energy because, folks, welcome to the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft. We are looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know which tasty flavors are the best and which might be sleepers. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and the only one that is going to take the top shot, in my opinion, or the top spot, in my opinion, I'm basic, man. Grape. I go back to my childhood, just wolfing down grape Airheads, grape Skittles, grape Blow Pops. It kind of has that flavor. It's good and sweet, a little less sweet than the candy, I might add. But yeah, it's smooth, consistent, straightforward taste. Kind of just brings me back to the glory days of childhood. And also with a caffeinated kick. Jay, do you have a favorite 5-Hour Energy flavor?
It's got to be cherry, man. I mean, all the same things you said about your grape, but it's cherry. I go back to when I was a kid. The cherry medicine. I didn't like the cough medicine, but the cherry kind of went down easier than the others. Cherry's always a go-to for me.
And also for a sleeper, really quick, I just got Fruity Rainbow. Not too shabby. A little bit of a juicy fruit taste to that, might I add. So do you have a sleeper, or what are you feeling over there, Jay?
It's weird because my sleeper's always been grape. It kind of tastes like a little bit like grape jelly. It always has the same type of taste for me.
Yeah.
And so that's the one that I don't really want people to know about because I want all of them for myself.
I'm going to edit all that out about the grape, how good it is, because I want it to stay in stock so I can still get it. That's a good call, Jay. That's why you're the pro, baby. Come on now. Guys, find your favorite flavor at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Again, guys, it's 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. And also, who here wants to go to the NBA Finals? Jay, why not, right? I mean, that seems like a good time.
Here.
What if I told you that FanDuel has a way that you could win a trip to the NBA Finals in person? Because, well, look at that, guys. FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. And here's how it works. It's so easy. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience, guys. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which teams can make a deep run, like my Pistons that lost, 28 games in a row 2 years ago, and now, oh my God, amongst the best teams in the NBA? Sure, lock it in, and who's to say what happens? Let's see if we can also win a trip to the NBA Finals, guys. So not only can your pick cash, but it could also send you to the NBA Finals. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Jay, what do you want to know about my squirrely Spartans over here?
Oh, man. How did you guys get to be so good? You guys are number 15 in the country right now. What did it take to get here?
Tom Izzo knew that he had to give Spartan Nation a reason to smile after 4 straight years of no bowl games. So he's really dialed back the clock here to the mid-2010s, because it's just tried and true Tom Izzo basketball. The calling card is defense, it's rebounding, and it's running. We're amongst the best rebounding teams in the nation. The defense has taken a little step back. We're, I believe, 11th in adjusted efficiency. We were hanging around the top 5 for a very long time, but still, hey, top 15 in defensive efficiency. You don't sneeze at that. So, look, you got a lot of guys that have developed here over time. Jeremy Fears in his 3rd year. Jackson Kohler in his 4th year. Carson Cooper in his 4th year. So it is by the power of defense, rebounding, running, and also togetherness and friendship and developing as one team. God, I love Michigan State basketball. It brings me life the same way Buckeye football brings life to you guys. It's great, man.
You know, Buckeye basketball fans would love to have a team like what you're talking about and the way that Izzo's teams always play. But for some reason, I look at the schedule, and there's been some oops and some daisies. Recently, a loss to Michigan, a loss at Minnesota, which is very puzzling to me. And you guys lost to Wisconsin as well. They also put up 92 points on Michigan State. What happened in those games?
So in the confusing games, look, I like to give a team one, okay, you didn't have your best. It'd be like that sometimes. That was the Minnesota game. A little puzzling, especially off the heels of an emotional loss against Michigan, where a player in the locker room also said, too, that they feel bad for Minnesota with the intensity that they're going to come out with in that game. And I would say that's probably the most, they've sleepwalked the entire season, and they flew back with a loss. That was very frustrating. And then I'll also give a team, too, a night where it'd be like that sometimes, in the sense a team is shooting so hot, you weren't even going to beat them on your best night. For me, that was the Wisconsin game. So I can excuse two of those losses. I'm glad that they did bounce back against a very good Illinois team. I'm glad they bounced back against not to use this term again, but a definitely 1,000% sleepwalking UCLA team. I still think largely on the whole season, they've shown that they're a really solid team, top 15 team, and you can continue showing that with the win at home as what will be 8, 9, maybe even 10-point favorites here on Sunday before a very crucial run here when you got to go to Purdue and to Indiana here. So I still like the direction things are going. The losses were bad, but hey, the defense, the rebounding, still good, and it's still the calling card for this team.
But it surely seems like the trend for this game on Sunday is going back to what you mentioned at the beginning of the show, where 2 years ago, Diebler went up there and got a win. I have less confidence personally in Diebler to be able to get the troops to do everything right now. I actually think they're better without Mobley on the court, at least right now, not long-term in the tournament. But at least right now, it's forcing guys to step up that desperately need to step up. But it's still Michigan State. You know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting with Ohio State.
I know.
But do you think this could be a trap game for Michigan State when Ohio State comes to town?
Yeah, I mean, for everything we just said, too, you really thought that they were going to bounce back strong against Minnesota. Now, again, excuse it just one time, but if it happens again, I'd be a little stunned. And maybe not a look-ahead spot because that game against Purdue is all the way on Thursday, but that's human nature. Maybe they are looking at that one, saying, all right, this is going to be our shining moment to get at least one good road win. We got a team that's coming in here like a wounded animal. They're going to be 10-point favorites. We saw it 2 years ago, right? They had every reason to win that game, and they didn't. But, yeah, I still am confident in this game. But, yeah, there's always just that human nature element of, sometimes you get too excited for the wrong games. Next game's Sunday, guys, not next Thursday.
Sunday's coming quick. I'm actually glad there's a little bit of time between us talking and the game on Sunday. Let's just spend some time with our families before we lock in on Sunday afternoon.
I haven't seen them in months. Oh my God, yeah, I guess.
You got two little rugrats running around. I hope you say hi and say I love you every now and then.
I forgot their names, honestly, but yeah, every once in a while I'll hear them pitter patter upstairs, and I'm like,
such a great dad. Such a great dad.
I try to be, just father of the year over here.
What are some areas that Michigan State is weak in?
Oh, boy, the half-court offense can really be sluggish sometimes, especially if they can't get out and running. Now, they've been able to dictate pace in their last 2 wins. UCLA, they were able to get out and run, and that didn't always mean just getting fast break points, but largely it meant getting UCLA on their heels, never able to set up their defense. And I just talked about it last show. I didn't even know what UCLA was doing on defense sometimes. I couldn't tell if it was man or zone because that's how poor everything was going on their side. But also the win beforehand against Illinois, they were really able to dictate pace with how much they were able to run, plenty of fast break points. So, look, if you could do that, no problem. If you're going to get bogged down, and if Ohio State doesn't even try to rebound, they just set back up and set up their fence on defense, could get a little sluggish. And if you're not having a good shooting night or maybe even a mediocre shooting night, yeah, that's great that your defense can hold teams to under 70, but you yourself might be under 70 here if you can't get out and running. So that's what I'm a little concerned with is the half-court offense, and that doesn't get aided with our backup point guard being out for the season with a foot injury, and we are really searching for answers who is behind Jeremy Fears whenever he goes to the bench because I love him. He's an All-American caliber player. He's not a superhuman, though. He does have a lung capacity like the rest of us. He does need a breather every once in a while, and those are precarious minutes sometimes when he's on the bench. So that's where I'm going to point that to.
This may be a game where they need him to play the entire game because the Buckeyes have – Bruce Thornton's done a great job over the past of late just getting downhill and making the right decision, whether it be going all the way to the basket, dropping in a floater, kicking it out to a man for a wide-open three. He's been a guy that's been locked in, and he's playing at an All-American caliber. I don't think he may not be an All-American because this team really isn't the strongest. He's very confusing. But How do you think that matchup's going to be on Sunday?
Feisty, physical, for sure. And I also do wonder if Jordan Scott's going to shadow him a little bit, too.
Okay.
Oftentimes where, the other team will have a really good guard, and Jeremy Fears is, of course, a really good defender. But there's been times lately, too. I mean, hey, Keaton Wagler comes to town from Illinois. Jordan Scott is assigned to him primarily throughout that game. So I think he's going to see both guys. I mean, Tom Izzo is no stranger to that. Other teams got a superstar. He will be meeting at least 3 or 4 of our finest gentlemen the entire night. So, yes, I think it will be a good dose of Fears, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the longer, lengthier Jordan Scott on Thornton, too. We are going to throw the whole kitchen sink at him and see what happens here, Jay. That's going to have to be the recipe for success here.
I got one more question for you. How will you respond if Ohio State wins?
The same way I did 2 years ago when I was actually in the barn at Breslin Center. I will be despondent. I will not talk for about probably an hour and 15 minutes after the game. And then I'll come down here, I'll turn this webcam on, and I'll, what the kids call crash out. That's what I will do. You've heard me talk about it. I've been I think I've been very kind to this team. We're 20-5. Of course, I'm going to be nice to this team. But even after the losses, Minnesota was upsetting me. I said, okay, that's your snoozer. Wisconsin happens. Okay, that's your hot shooting team that you played against. I can't do this again. Like I can't do another loss as favorites again and just act cool. No, this is where I'm going to start to not get to DEFCON 1, but perhaps like DEFCON 2.5 of what this team's ceiling can be. But that's a good question. Brought back a lot of good memories from 2 years ago. Man, oh man, let's keep talking about this game here in a little bit. But first, Jay, we got a word from Mazda.
I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. Dawn Staley and South Carolina remain on top of the SEC standings after handing Tennessee their worst defeat in program history with a final score of 93-40. In the 43-point win, South Carolina shot 69% from the field. Tessa Johnson had a perfect shooting night, scoring 24 points, shooting 4 for 4 from the floor, including 2 threes, and made all 4 of her free throws. And UCLA remains undefeated in Big Ten play, topping Michigan 69-66 as Player of the Year contender Lauren Betts put up a double-double, scoring 16 points, collecting 16 rebounds, and adding 5 assists and 3 blocks. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts the same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
Also, guys, look your best with Alumni Hall this upcoming summer. And, of course, the football season that will be here before we know it, because you already know this if you've listened to the show, but I'm going to just keep on beating it into the ground. Alumni Hall has the largest selection of officially licensed gear from all the top brands you are looking for. We're talking Nike, Columbia, Champion, Yeti, New Era, so much more. And speaking of Champion, guys, go ahead and hop on their Mix and Match 2 for $40 t-shirts. Hey, you know what? You like a sport for Michigan State? You just want to upgrade your style? Do it with the fine quality that is Champion, and do it with Alumni Hall, guys. And also, they're really taking care of the Spartan community. Michigan State students and faculty, as well as military and all first responders, get 10% off with a valid ID in the store. Also, you're going to want to follow them on social media. You want to download the Alumni Hall app because there are more special offers and sales through both of those avenues, guys. So pop into Alumni Hall in the Eastwood Town Center in Lansing near the Apple Store, or shop online or through their app. And best part is, for every $150 you spend, you will get $10 in Hall cash to use for the next time. So grab that new game day look or upgrade your tailgate with Alumni Hall, your ultimate Michigan State shopping destination. Jay, I'm on one of my favorite websites during the winter right now. That would be barttorvik.com. And they are telling me, they're promising me actually, that Michigan State's going to win this game 76-68, a projected 8-point spread, of course. When I read off all those numbers, your thought is?
They're correct. They are correct. I am
right.
not high on this basketball team at all. I have been very open about my disbelief in them being able to win games down the stretch. They need to get to 20 wins just based off how I view the bracketologists and how they think the bracket's going to go, I don't see that happening. Now, if they win on Sunday, my tune's going to change. But until that game is played, until it's tipped off and the final buzzer sounds, then I will not change my tune because I still think this team has talent. The talent is there to make the tournament. The collective talent, when it's there as 5 players on the court as a team, that's where the issue lies. And so Bruce Thornton is great. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a consistent second man. And if he has a good Robin that's good on both offensively, shooting the ball, and also defensively, as well as rebounding, then I'll gain some confidence. But, man, I don't have confidence in this team. I don't have confidence in Diebler. I haven't really outwardly called for him to be let go, but I've said things like, I don't know if he's a man to lead this team to the tournament. I don't know if he's the man to put the right roster together. Like, trying to say all the things that make it seem like, yeah, he might not be the right guy for the job. But I haven't come out and said, like, Ross Bjork, you got to fire him. I don't say those things. I try to word it in a different way.
I'm going to go the same way here. I'm not going to be, too crazy and say anything like, oh, MSU by 25 or, oh, Ohio State's going to stun us at the buzzer again, like that. Game that we've already talked about way too much. You can tell I'm totally over it still, even though plenty of great things have happened ever since. No, I'm fine. It's all fine. I do think it'll be on the lower scoring side. Perhaps like Michigan State, they get to 70, Ohio State 59. I think Michigan State's defense has been really solid, both in the front court and around the perimeter, of course. And Michigan State is coming off of a game where they shot a scrillion% against UCLA. There's due to be a market correction somehow. They're not going to shoot like that for the second game in a row. So between that, Ohio State's got some good defensive players, of course. I think it will be a lower scoring game, but I think Michigan State wins this game 8, 9, 10, 11 points. That's somewhere in that range right now. And I also think a big reason for this game is going to be who I'm going to anoint as my key player for Michigan State, and that would be one Cohen Carr, who just dazzled against UCLA. And he was a guy that was hitting an abnormal amount of shots to the point where John Fanta, who called our game, was exasperated whenever he made a shot. And I got to say, same, John, I can't believe all these shots are falling for him either. But more so, he does his best work when the front court on the other team is a little vulnerable, get more downhill, get aggressive when he does get to that low block. And, of course, we've all seen the flying Carr highlight reel dunks on the fast break. So I think this will be a big game for Cohen Carr. What say you? Who's your key player here? Who has to shine or who is going to shine, Jay, if you want to go that far?
It's kind of hard because there are 4 players in my mind that I want to pick right now. I think they need to get 10 points from Tayson Chapman, who's the replacement for John Mobley Jr. in the starting lineup. In Mobley's absence, you've gotten some really good play from Amari Bynum, which is expected. Devin Royal had a bounce-back game. Christoph Tilley is up or down. You're not really going to get a lot of points from him. You're not going to get rebounding from him. But I believe Chapman can be somebody in the backcourt that can put up 10 to 14 points that'll kind of offset the absence of Mobley. That'll make it easier for Thornton to get downhill and even get downhill, drive and kick to Chapman for an open jumper. I believe his presence offensively is desperately needed for Ohio State to pull off this massive upset.
I just want everyone to recognize one thing here, and this is just going to transition into nothing, maybe a little bit of football talk, but Jay, I've loved this conversation. We only have great interactions, of course, but I hearken back to 2 years, and this is something funny I just found because it was a crossover before a football game where you guys were number 1 team in the country. You guys were a wagon, and then I got 2 or 3 people commented wow, Jay's really arrogant. He talks about the number 1 team in the nation. Of course he's talking about how great his team is. And, hey, based on the last 27 minutes, you guys see how honest he is? Yeah, again, I'm talking to 2 or 3 people right now, but I just couldn't help to notice. And you weren't the only one that season because I also talked to Spencer of Locked On Ducks. Same comments. Yeah, they were a top 5 team. Jacob Goins of Locked On Hoosiers. Yeah, they had 1 loss the entire season. People can't talk honestly about their team just because they talk nothing about great things doesn't mean they're arrogant. So I am just screaming to the lowest minority right now. But Jay, I love this chat. This is very open and honest because that's what we provide here on the Locked On Network.
I don't know if it's arrogance or just being factual about Ohio State being better than Michigan State in football.
There was never a game where you guys were going to beat us by less than 20 points.
I thought you were going to bring up the game when C.J. Stroud ran like 50+ yards when Ohio State blew them out like back in 2021, maybe 2022. I don't know what I don't know what year, man, but there was a year that
together. Yeah.
Right. Was it the kid? I forget who. I forget the game.
22, I think.
I don't know, but Ohio State blew you. Like, I mean, it was Justin Fields was there. We blew you all out. Like,
you have to be more specific. Ohio State blew us out. You have to be more specific.
It was in East Lansing late in the season. Yeah, I don't think it was a COVID year. Probably 20. I forget, man. I don't know. I have no idea. I know Ohio State blew them out. The one thing I will say that Spartan fans might enjoy, it's not about Ryan Day or Stroud or Fields, anything like that. There was somebody on the ESPN that I heard was talking trash about Pat Fitzgerald being hired, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? To me, it's like one of the sneaky good hires of this cycle.
Hey, there we go. Let's go. Join the party. Come on now. I like that, Jay, because even I'm like, they tell us on the Locked On Podcast Network, hey, like, you got to be strong-willed in your takes. You want to grab people with your strong opinions. And Jay, I did the worst thing. I took the easy way out because I'm truly like a 5 out of 10 on it. Like, I'm going to do something I haven't done in my entire life, and that's actually be patient. But yeah, I like the idea of it. I like that he's regional. I like that he knows the conference, the area around it, what each rivalry really means. But also, I just can't get over that he's been out of the game for a few years, and those last 2 years Northwestern weren't great. So I'm trying something just both as a podcast host and a person, just being patient. So like,
you sound old, bro.
It sucks.
It's like you got like an old man living inside of you.
It's not good. I know, man. Dude, the other day I talked about how cool it was to like be bird watching, and it's not. I know. I'm 33 going on 74, man. It's not good, but that's where I'm at with the Pat Fitzgerald thing. I took just like the laziest, most boring route, but I have to be honest with myself, my listener. I'd love to sell you on him. I'd love to just bury him, but I can't do either because I am truly. It's a house divided flag in my own body. Thumbs up, Fitzgerald. Thumbs down, Fitzgerald. So that's where I'm at. I'm glad that you actually offered an opinion, though. So thank you. You've carried the torch for us here, Jay.
I'm just trying to do my job. That's all. Just trying to do my job.
There we go for both Locked On Buckeyes and Locked On Spartans. Guys, we will be back over here, Locked On Spartans. We're going to talk about this game no matter what happens. I really hope I'm smiling selfishly. And Jay, I'm going to fetch a guess. You'll talk about this game afterwards?
Yeah, I will. I will happily talk. Well, not happily talk about it. I'll talk about it. I will try to put a smile on my face so it sounds better on the audio when I talk about Ohio State losing. But we will definitely talk about it.
There we go, guys. Well, hey, until then, guys, on both sides of the aisle here, my Spartans, your Buckeyes, take care of yourselves this weekend. Have a great next few days up until tip-off. Jay, you're the best. Everyone viewing, everyone watching, you guys are all the best. Take care of yourselves.